A week in a secluded cabin in the woods sounded like the perfect escape. It was supposed to be peaceful, no phones, no work, just me, Jake, Emily, Mia, and Chris. For the first 2 days, it was exactly what we needed. Hiking during the day, laughing around the fire at night. But on the third night, the atmosphere changed. The forest was too quiet, and the shadows seemed to stretch longer. Then we heard its slow, deliberate footsteps circling the cabin. Probably an animal, Jake muttered, but he locked the doors just in case. At 3 a.m., a knock echoed through the cabin. Jake peeked through the curtains and sighed in relief. "It's the police," he whispered. We opened the door to 2 officers. The first, Officer Daniels, introduced himself with a calm smile. His partner, Officer Reed, was quiet, his eyes darting between us like he was counting. "Just a routine check," Daniels said. "There have been reports of strangers around. Lock your doors and stay inside." Reed finally spoke, his voice low and cold. "You shouldn't be out here alone." Something about him felt wrong, but they left without incident. The next morning, Mia found strange footprints in the dirt outside the cabin, large and deep. Worse, our car was gone. "We parked it right here," Chris said, panicked. That night, the footsteps returned, louder and closer. Another knock followed. "It's Daniels," the voice called, but it sounded off. Jake peered through the window and turned pale. Daniels and Reed stood on the porch, their uniforms dirty and faces twisted into something unnatural. "We're here to help," Daniels said, but his grin was unsettling, his teeth too sharp. We barricaded the door. The knocking turned to pounding, then silence. By morning, we decided to leave on foot. Deep in the woods, we found our car smashed and covered in blood. That's when we heard voices, Daniels and Reed laughing. They weren't the same. Their uniforms were gone, their faces pale and predatory. "You should have stayed in the cabin," Daniels said, stepping closer. We ran, splitting up in panic. I don't know what happened to the others. Hours later, I stumbled onto a road, and a driver stopped to help me. The police never found the cabin, my friends, or any officers named Daniels or Reed, but I know they're still out there, waiting for the next group to find their woods.